but I want this to stay for as long as you can. 'Cause I've been searching and searching for you.
It looked like Cinderella Park. Hi, it's been a while since I just like sat down in front of the camera and did my makeup on myself. I got pink hair clearly, so I've been really into pink makeup, like just really pink makeup. Today I'm going to start with skincare actually, because I feel like that's a process you don't often see. With cleanser, I've been using this in the morning, the Then I Met You Soothing Tea Cleansing Gel. Now I know there's a lot of people that, especially if they have dry or sensitive skin, that don't wash their face in the morning. There was an episode of Powder Room, and it's like this Korean, it was a blog, but then they have their own YouTube channel, but they invite different brands to go on the show to talk about the products, and Misha was on there recently, so they were talking about their bee pollen line. Apparently it's like really popular, so I wanted to try it, so I bought like the whole line, and immediately my skin was not having it. It took me a few days though to realize that it was that skincare that was causing my skin to get really red and dry and just react to it. If you know that YouTuber James Welsh, I was talking with him and he was just like, you know there's bee pollen in there, so he was asking if I have like seasonal allergies, which I do. Seasonal allergies run in my family, so that made sense. So I switched over to this line of skincare from this brand called Aestura, and I believe it was like a brand that you find in dermatology clinics in Korea. I have the lotion and I have the cream that I use at night. But basically this is supposed to be for dry and really sensitive skin, so it's just like the most basic moisturizer. It's supposed to be good for repairing the skin barrier or whatever, which is what I need, because that bee pollen line, like you can still see, I just made a video too about how like, oh, how I helped my skin redness and sensitivity, and now my skin's like this again, so it's like, who do you believe? So to keep everything simple, literally my morning and night routine has just been wash my face and using that, or the heavier version at night. I've also been using the Zoom 37 Secret Essence, which I actually put on before this, but my skin was just too dry while I was trying to set up my camera, so I put this on. I'm filming a show called WWW with my friend Coco now. Link down below, and it's basically where we're talking about K-beauty dupes for like high-end products, and that was a dupe for the SK2 Patera Essence, a really expensive thing. Although that's not cheap, it's more affordable compared to the SK2 one, but I have all of them in my house, and I've been trying to use them up, so that's the one I've been using, and it's really helped my skin get this more like natural glow and like firmness and tightness. I wanted to do a video where I basically use Espoir because I have a lot of Espoir, and I don't feel like I talk about Espoir enough on my channel, but I feel like it's a brand that's really been stepping her game up, because she used to be like, I don't even know, her aesthetic was really weird, but then they started changing it to like this more like, it looked like it's inspired very much by Glossier and all that. A lot of brands in Korea were inspired by Glossier. Now, with everyone trying to rebrand, and Joy is the model for the brand, which I unfortunately have fallen victim to. And I'm like, oh, if I use this, I'll probably look more like Joy. This is the Bulow Cushion. Mine is in the shade Beige. And it's supposed to be like glowy, but I feel like with this sponge, it kind of soaks up a little bit of that glowiness. If you don't set it and you let your skin just like sit the way it is throughout the day, I think the glow does start to come, especially if you have more oily skin. People, and by people I also include myself, I tend to like stab the cushion this way, where I'm using like the tips of my fingers. And so I'll end up with a bunch of like foundation on the very edge of the puff, which is not where you want it. You kind of want it in the center. So what I do is I place the puff in the center, and I kind of press the middle a few times, and I'll have product on here. And what I do is I utilize the cap, and I kind of tap it a few times in there to kind of evenly apply it on the puff. And just like I do foundation, I'm kind of going to apply it on the V-zone first, because that's where it needs the most coverage. I kind of go down in a V, take it into the center. I'm not putting anything here yet. Around here, around the nose, and I take it up onto my forehead and then to the side. And I haven't even really used that much yet, but you can see that I got pretty decent coverage. I don't remember if this was advertised as like supposed to having to be like full coverage, but I just see this as like a light to medium coverage. I use it mostly to just even out my skin tone. So again, center of the cheek, going down towards the mouth, above the lip, take it to the inner part of the cheek, side of the nose, center of the brows, on the forehead, and to the side. The goal of that is just to give you a more even skin tone while using as little product as possible and avoiding here, but also kind of evening the skin tone of the center of your face first. Kind of gives you this more natural, like almost slimming effect because you don't really have anything on the sides. And then whatever's left on the puff, then you can kind of like younger, connect. The thing I like about recording, because for a while, this is the camera I was using, Sony AX700. And this is really just super comfortable to film with because literally I just open it and I start recording. The microphone's already on there and all that. But this shit is way higher quality, but it's, oh sis, it's a whole fucking fiasco. I have to be monitoring myself to make sure all this shit is working. But I remember for the longest time, my biggest thing was that I would always have to make sure I was in focus. With that one, the autofocus is so fast. This one, not so much. Now, the concealer I'm gonna use is this Balm, this Camouflage Balm one from the Saem, which I discovered recently. Really good, high, super like pigment in a pot. 근데 it's really slippery. So when you're kind of putting it onto like just bare like wet foundation, it streaks a little bit, and as you're trying to blend it, it like wipes off. And so it works best, I find, when you lightly powder the face first. I bought this a long time ago, but I still have, like, I made a dent in it, but I don't feel like it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Pro Tailor Blur Finish Powder, and it's one of those powders that kind of gives your skin that really blurred out effect, clearly. It mattifies the skin, but it's really almost like a creamy powder. It's not like one of those dry feeling HD powders. Sorry, I don't have my contact lenses right now because my eyes have been really red. So I don't really know if I'm in focus or not. But yeah, this is mostly just to give you a sort of more airbrushed look. If you have oily skin, don't think you're gonna care for this powder. So I guess if you have dry skin, it's nice. Because I know there are people with dry skin but don't want like super glowy looking skin after they put foundation. So I'm gonna especially powder my bird area because this is where I'm gonna put a lot of concealer. Now I'm gonna do concealer. This is shade 1.5 and it's quite warm, which is good because if you look at the face, the cheeks tend to be more warm, while the under eyes and like here, the beard area, whether you're a man or a woman, tends to be more on the cool side. I mean, other than the fact that this is really high coverage, I think that warm undertone is gonna help at least not just cover, but also warm it up. And I'm using it on a flat concealer brush. Now, a lot of people will be like, oh my god, why would you put a cream on top of a powder? But like I was saying, because it's more of that creamy, more slippery texture, it kind of almost glides over that powder. And again, the powder is really that soft, buttery, creamy texture, so it's not super dry. It doesn't look patchy. And as long as you just like kind of pat and lightly swipe, it doesn't look bad at all. I always forget to do my beard area. Not even just because I'm lazy, but I feel like I'm so much more into just a more natural coverage on a day-to-day basis that I forget that I have a beard area. Unless I forget to shave, then I won't notice that this area is really blue and gray. Maybe you can see between this side and this side. I feel like it's definitely worth the extra effort. Especially for me, when you can see my 5 o'clock shadow, I look so much older. And while there's nothing wrong with looking older, it's just, that's not my aesthetic. And if I'm using this monitor is that I can see, I have like the mirror image of myself. No, not mirrored. I can see basically what I look like when other people look at me. So girl, there are apps as well where it will have the front camera, but it will show you like the actual image of yourself. So that shit really, everything shows up. It really shows you how ugly you are. No, I'm kidding. For me, it really just shows me how uneven my eyebrows are. I recently did one of those, remember the tinted eyebrow tattoo products that were like popping on YouTube for a while? I did one of those. This really showed me how unevenly I did them. So I'm going to fill in my, like this one is clearly way more arch and this one's more flat. This is a brow pencil from Etude House. I was looking for just a new brow pencil and these are only 4,001, but it's one of those like skinny eyebrow pencils. Anastasia's Beverly Hills are like known for theirs, but their brow whizzes are like $18. These are like $4. So, and they're like the same thing. So if you are into using skinnier brow pencils, I highly recommend these. Even the pony effect ones, which I used for a long time, those are like $14. These brows are just not happening today. Lighten my brows with a Pew. eyebrow concealer. It doesn't even matter because my hair's gonna be down anyway. And I'm using this eyebrow mascara from Can Make. It's the more pinky brown one. Putting that eyebrow concealer beforehand will help make this color pop a little more, because if I just put on my bare eyebrows, it would be more just like dark. Fix it. This brow's, the arch ends way farther than this one. Okay, wait, let me put eye primer on. My favorite, Smashbox 24 hour. Highly recommend. Literally when I use this, I don't have to worry about my eyeshadow moving at all throughout the day. And you really need only like that much for one eye. So one bottle will last me like 2 years. I just opened that second bottle recently, and the first one I finished after like 2.5 years. But while we're waiting for the primer to dry, I'm gonna contour my face. rom&nd. I know the art class one is really popular. Kunde, if you look at the difference, art class is a little bit more yellow warm, while this is more cool tone. So I like to use this one more for actually getting a shape and adding like realistic looking contour to my face. Not that the art class one, you can't do that, but I just like that this one is way more cool tone. So what I've been doing lately is to contour, I start here to contour my nose. I basically put the brush in my eyebrow and I take it down. Because I noticed that whenever you put product down with a brush, the point of contact, that's where the most pigment is going to be. But if I just start here, sometimes it gets like muddy and dirty and like there's too much pigment here. So I like to start in the brown, take it down. It also helps that when I take it down the sides of the nose, the contour looks more blended out. I don't even take it all the way down like I used to. I'll dip again in here at the end of the nose. Maybe like the sides a little bit. If it gets too messy around here, I'll take the concealer brush I use with pretty much no product on it, and I'll clean that up. Yeah. You know, the thing I think that's really smart about the way they designed this, the reason it's like a moon shape is when you take your brush, when you're swirling it, it kind of goes with the shape of the swirl. So you go like that, so you can blend the two colors. When I'm contouring the jawline to make it more like V-shaped, here, right where the sideburn is, and I take it straight down, following the jawline. When I hit the jawline down here, that's when I take it down. And then kind of turning the brush sideways, I kind of younger it, connect it, blend it, going this way. That way I feel like you can get more natural real instead of just taking a big round brush and just like starting here and then just like, you know, doing this thing. From the front, I don't know if you can tell much of a difference. From the side, there's that natural like contour here, so it looks more natural, but from the front, it probably disappears and you can't tell the difference. But on a day-to-day basis, I'd rather keep it this way, because if I take it all the way here, so that you can see the kind of like shadow on the side of my face, it'll pretty much be all the way over here, and that would look really, I'll look like a dirty looking beard. All right, so that's pretty much the base and the eyebrows done. Color. Espoir has some these new really pretty looking palettes. Real Eye palette, and this one is in Rosy Feed. I thought it would look really nice with my hair color, and it does, but my skin tone, it doesn't really look good with my skin tone, I think. Looking at it in the pan, it almost looked more corally pink to me, but it's like, especially with these two colors, like the base colors, they're really pink. Hold on, let me get my mirror. I needed to use a small mirror because I noticed when I'm using a big ass mirror, I forget that I'm covering my face, and so you can't even see what I'm doing. For the first color, I shall be, the pigmentation is just like, okay. I think I would probably prefer like Etude House eyeshadows more over this. I almost initially thought that these were like blushes because the sizes are bigger, but they don't advertise it as that. It's just eyeshadow. If I use this as a base, for me, I mean, if you watch me, then you know I'm probably gonna use this as a base first and then go in with this. But if I do that in that way, this doesn't really show up as well, so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna start with a point color. Just like slapping it on there, not being too fussy. But that primer really is helping out. And with a smaller one, same color, and just on the outer, right here. Then what I'm gonna do is take a more like fluffy, I guess like a blending brush, but this is more on the small side, it's not too big. And then I'm gonna use this to blend out the edge of that color I just put. That way I can maximize the use of both colors. You see it? Using it to kind of diffuse that. And with this pink color, you can actually use that as a blush as well, I think. Tonally, of course, it will match with your eye makeup. And it's not super strongly pigmented, so you can get a more light wash. There was a more corally colored palette from this collection, but I went to the Espoir store. There's the store that Joy posted a picture in front of. I went to that one in Karusukir, but it was sold out, I think, so I didn't get it. But on the other end of this brush is a smaller kind of like pencil brush. I'm gonna use that to basically do the same thing on the bottom, but also take it to the center, or like the inner corner. Maybe going back in with the first shade to reinforce the pink a little bit more. What was I gonna say? There are two shimmers in here. This one that's more like that bright orangey coral shade, and this one is definitely a more like rose gold. I'm gonna use the rose gold because this is really cool toned, and so on my skin tone is starting to clash already. So to warm it up a little bit, I'm using the more warm shimmer to warm it up. And then the really pretty shimmer color, this really cute frosty shade, I'll use in the inner corner. Bad idea, should have used a brush. You know, because y'all know I cannot skip glitter, I'm gonna use glitter. 3CE Maisun Kitsune collection, Petal. I almost never use this because I really don't often have pink hair, but I think it will suit it really well. The glitters on this one are really chunky though, but in general, lately, whenever I use glitter, because you guys know I like to put glitter under here, but lately, one, I put it kind of more only in the center here, right under the iris, but two, because there's that trend of doing that, putting glitter like right under your eye here, but if you put it too thick, it doesn't look that good anymore to me. I used to really fucking go in with this shit, but like literally just right under the eyelash, just, oh my fucking god. Like you can barely see it, just like a little, like this is what I mean, where it's like chunky. I have to be careful with this. Just in the center, not too far out, not too far in, just a slight hint. And my camera's like angles again. You see that? And I think it's pretty obvious at this point, but I didn't wear eyeliner, but I'm gonna use these two. I'm gonna mix them to kind of give me an eyeliner color and just use that to almost thicken up my eyelash, my lash line on the outer corner. I think it's pretty well known that I don't really do eyeliner, but I think especially with this more light pink look, putting eyeliner, I think if it was on someone else, it would look a lot pretty, but for me, it would ruin the whole look. But I kind of like how the way this palette's set up, if you kind of go like here, you kind of get this really cute, bright spring look. But if you go more like here, you can get a more neutral, smokier look, I guess. I don't know. Now for blush, I have been loving. I didn't think I would like these that much. I actually thought I would hate these because I don't really like liquid blush. 3C has these new liquid blushes, which I wanted to kind of put in the same video together with the eyeshadow palette because they came out as a collection, but I really, like, this is the blush I will wear with this look because it just suits it so well. It's this more pink one called So Alive. They call it a liquid blush, but it's very, very silicone-y. So it's not like wet or anything, but the applicator looks like this. You only really get product on the tip, which is good. Not minus this one, the other two are really pigmented, so you put one dot and it spreads everywhere, like I swear to God, half my face has it. So this one isn't so much that way, it's more lightly pigmented, so I can put a few dots. I'm gonna put it here. Actually, I might have put that too low, oh well. I actually love using it with a really fluffy kind of brush, because it's more silicone-y, has that light fluffy texture. I can kind of buff it and smooth it on with a brush like this. And because it's not like a wet liquid blush, it doesn't disturb the foundation underneath. Because with wet liquid blushes, it will moisten up the foundation or powder, whatever you have underneath, and it make it move around. Yeah, I think I want that a little bit higher, so I'm gonna put more so like right here. And again, this is not a color I would ever wear had I not had pink hair. I'm gonna try to enjoy it for as long as you can. My pink hair color, by the way. I got it done by Namin, my usual hair designer, but I had to retouch the color because it disappeared really, really quickly. And the color I used to touch it up with is one from 3C, their baby pink hair color. It's way more bright than the color I did at the salon, but it does look pretty when you wash it with shampoo like once or twice. When you first do it, it's so bright pink. So it's like really, it was like really clashing with my skin tone, but now that it's more like muted, it looks better. But yeah, the blush is really soft and oh, so cute. All right, and then last but not least, actually I think I can put my hair down now. My lips. This is a trick I learned from actually the brand owner, I believe, of rom&nd, love her lip tints. And this is a tip that I thought was really, really useful, is using your blush to line your lips, but also, you know when you use like a foundation or you use like a base lip color to blur out the edge of your lip, basically using your blush for that. And what this does is it really helps you, of course, not only be a base for your lip color, but also my upper lip, when I did do lip fillers, I got it mostly in my upper lip because my upper lip is smaller than my bottom lip. And you can use this to kind of even out, like give balance to your face. This will help my face look a little bit smaller. Now, although I use this liquid blush as a blush today, I'm just gonna use this color, this base color. Maybe mix a little bit of that coral as well. And buff here. Do you see how that almost like blurs my lip line, but also gives my lips a little bit more volume? I kind of only do it in the center. If I do it too much to the sides, it looks too much. Like, and I do it on the sides here a little bit just because my lip line there is a little bit, it's a little bit like dark. My lips are starting to get really dry from talking so much. Now for the lip color, this is like, oh, I'm so happy I discovered this. This is such a good lip color, lip product. Espoir again. It's their new, this is the name. I forgot the name, but this is a more rosy shade, Moonlit. Applicator looks like this. And to describe the texture, it's kind of like, you know, it's like velvety. I honestly keep bringing up Petty Peta, but that's like my point of reference because I feel like everybody knows it. But you know, like the Petty Peta velvet, airy, whatever tints. It's like that, but it actually sticks to your lips a lot better. It's almost like there's a little bit of moisture in there, so like it sticks to the lips and it's not just like floating on top. Wait, I'm redoing that because I feel like I put too much. There's a little bit here. Like a skinny little line. Using a lip brush to blend it. I would describe it as like a cross between a liquid lipstick and like a velvet tint. And that's a really gorgeous rose color, which I think suits the rest of the makeup. Oh my god, I forgot to put mascara. I wasn't gonna put eyeliner, but I used mascara. To be honest though, I don't, the way I put mascara on is I just wipe my lashes with it to make my lashes stand out more. So as long as it doesn't smudge and like smear, they're all the same to me other than maybe like the color. Just because I was shopping at Espoir though, I did buy this one because it was, actually this one is also called Moonlit. Espoir No Smudging Mascara Waterproof XP in Moonlit. Nowhere near the same color as this though, I don't know why they have the same name. But it's a reddy ginger brown color. And it's pretty good, it doesn't smudge on me. It's easy to take off at the end of the day, unlike Etude House mascaras. But yeah, I don't do any of this. I just wipe through just to thicken them a little bit and get some color on there. Sometimes I like to take the end of a brush and kind of comb out, not comb out, but like encourage the outer lashes to kind of pull out this way to almost give me an eyeliner effect without actually having to use eyeliner. But yeah, there is the finished look. I think we need to stan Espoir in 2020. Just kidding. You don't have to if you don't want to. But I want to go now. Bye.